More than 70% of all independent music venues could close for good if they don't get financial help in the coming months. The industry has no idea when it'll be allowed to open again and say it'll be impossible to make a profit with social distancing rules in place. This afternoon, MPs debated an open letter to government asking for £50 million of funding to help venues survive. Ben Sidwell reports.
Remember this? Live music and packed crowds. But since lockdown, music venues have sat empty and silent, with a very uncertain future.
I think without help, particularly from the government and people, even people independently supporting their local venue in any way they can, I think, we will lose some independent venues along the way.
KK's Sawmill in Wolverhampton only opened last autumn, but they've seen gig after gig postponed. For all those involved in live music, it's a really bleak outlook.
We had about 7 tours out across the globe, and starting with America, working back to Europe and UK, every single one dropped like a domino effect. And I think that we're probably not going to see anything now until March next year, so we've literally lost a year of work.
Bands like Coldplay and Muse are just a couple of the acts who've performed at the Sugar Mill in Stoke-on-Trent on their way to global success. But without help, they say they won't survive past September. They're among the venues who've written an open letter to the government asking for financial help to save hundreds of grassroots venues.
We need £50 million to support 800 plus music venues for the next 3 months. But actually, in terms of what we do for the economy, we're the foundations of an industry that's worth £5.2 billion in this country. So really, when you start actually looking at the figures, £50 million sounds like a lot, but it really is just a dip in the ocean.
Back in Wolverhampton, and members of Butterfly Stone are sound checking ahead of a live stream. It won't make the band any money, but it's the only way they can perform for fans.
There's a lot of people who are in bands and things who earn a living from or supplement their living with live performances, wedding bands, performers in pubs and things like that. And of course that's all died away, never mind the musicians, that's their sole income. So, it's devastated a lot of musicians and performers.
The reality is many of these venues won't open fully for some time, and without extra funding, many will close. And when they do, they simply won't reopen. Ben Sidwell, BBC Midlands Today, Wolverhampton.